Welcome back to Unpopular Tea. I'm Taj. As usual, I'm not here to win friends. I'm not here to be politically correct. And today I'm sitting down with someone to learn a little bit more about the Philippines. And without further ado, why don't you tell me your name and tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're from?
Hello guys, my name is Romano. I am Irish Filipino. Well, I lived in Ireland for 24 years, but my parents are born Filipino, so I'm here on vacation.
Understood. Okay. So I was going to ask you, what brings you to the Philippines this time around?
Yeah.
And so you said you're here on vacation. Do you have any special things planned?
So the main thing that I'm here for is a good friend of mine's birthday is on today, so I thought it'd be a nice idea to come over, and
Nice.
that's basically it. I'm here by myself this time, so usually I go with my parents. So
Understood. So is there a difference between going with your parents and kind of exploring by yourself?
yeah, I'd say there's actually a huge difference. I think whenever I went home by myself, and I don't know if many people experience this when they're going back home to their country with family, it's always like a big thing because since we emigrated from the Philippines, I think a large part of coming back home is meeting all the family. They all greet us at the airport. It's like a really, really big kind of celebration thing.
Oh, that's what's up.
But this time, when I got to the airport, it was just me and my friend, greeting each other. A lot less people know, so it's more of like an independent thing and more of like a holiday that you'd go to rather than going home per se, than actually a proper holiday. So
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. But still good nonetheless, right?
oh yeah, no, definitely, it's just a different experience. I think I'm a lot more responsible for my own stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
well, it's a good and bad thing. Like, it's stuff that you expect when you go on a holiday, like any old regular holiday. But whenever I come home to the Philippines, I used to always think when it's with my family, it's like more of a celebration than it is like a holiday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So having lived in Ireland for 24 years and still traveling back to the Philippines,
Yeah.
what are some of the biggest differences between living in both areas?
Okay, so I think aside from the fact that I do consider this place more like home, or like whenever you talk about it, you're like, oh, I always want to go back home, which I'm referring to the Philippines. But I think for someone that's strictly looking at Ireland versus the Philippines is a lot less developed. Like, it is still, I'm pretty sure, considered a third world country.
I think so.
And Ireland is considered like a developed country. So I think that's the main difference, I think. But aside from that, a more personal standpoint, I think, because of the whole difference in development, it's a lot cheaper here, and I get to spend my money a lot more liberally than I would over there in Ireland, because it's a lot more expensive in comparison. So yeah, I'm trying to think of other stuff, but I think those are the main things that come up to my head right now. So
Understood. So if you had to decide, if someone had a gun to your head and was like, you have to choose, do you want to live in the Philippines or Ireland? Which one do you think you would choose?
oh god, well, gun to my head, probably the
Hey y'all, it's Lay, your friend and guide here in Cebu. If you have a taste to explore the depths of the ocean or the crisp air of the mountains and everything in between, let's chat. I'd love to show you around. Details in the description.
Philippines.
Philippines?
I think that's a very emotional response though, very in the moment. But to think about it, I think if I really had time to think about it, Ireland makes a lot more sense, but my heart tells me the Philippines.
Okay.
Gun to my head type thing, Philippines for sure.
You got to trust the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So where can you have more fun, would you say?
All the Irish people that I know are probably gonna hate me, but the Philippines is definitely more fun. Without a shadow of a doubt, the Philippines is 100% more fun
What
than
makes it
Ireland.
more fun?
Well, okay. I just made a really strong statement, but what I mean is, for a guy like me that doesn't like the hiking scene or the outdoor scene, I mean, I do tend to do that, but when it comes to nightlife, food, beaches, the Philippines trumps all of Ireland, hands down. But for the people that enjoy the countryside stuff, like hiking, which you can do in the Philippines still, I think Ireland might be more your style. Also, it's weather dependent. If you can't take the heat, then I'd say Ireland is a little bit better. But
Very true. It
Yeah.
gets real hot here.
yeah,
Even
it
at
is,
night. Oh my God.
especially this time of year. No, it's super hot this time of year.
I keep asking people when is summer coming in? I keep getting different responses, but it feels like all year round.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
summer.
yeah.
That's
Honestly,
crazy.
I sweat like shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely don't feel Filipino when it comes to the heat. Like, they're super used to this stuff, but me, I can't take it.
Yeah, same here. I do my best though.
yeah.
So when it comes to the nightlife, because I know a lot of people watching, they're very curious about like the nightlife and all that type of stuff. What would you say the nightlife is here for you? Like here for you? Like, what was your experience?
Personally, I think the nightlife is it's a lot better than other places that I've been to. So I can only compare it to like Ireland and like some other countries that I visited in, but it's a lot more lively. And I think a lot of it is thanks to the people. I think getting along with people on a random night out here is really, really fun. Like, everyone's super friendly, everyone's super nice. And obviously there's bad apples everywhere.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think the nightlife here is amazing. And the fact that like the city is still active at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning all the way up until people start working again is amazing. That helps a lot because you could always go to some sort of like 7-Eleven or Combini or something like that just to get like a quick bite to eat afterwards. So when it comes to nightlife, it doesn't get much better than this.
Okay.
And I think there's a spot for everyone. Like, in terms of music, there's like spots for everyone.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. So you actually just answered my next question. So I was going to ask you, you said the people.
Yeah.
Now the music, right?
Yeah.
And then the fact that things stay open late. So those three things make the nightlife here better than anywhere else you've been.
Well, yeah, anywhere else that I've been. So I haven't been to like other famous places that are known for nightlife, like other parts of Asia. But that's what I can attest to for now. Okay. So,
have you ever been to Manila?
I have not. No.
No, same here.
So
I was gonna ask you.
I wouldn't know anything about it, to be honest. I heard it's really busy though. Like, I heard it's a lot busier than Cebu. So.
Yeah, here it's congested, busy, a lot going on.
Yeah, like a different city, like completely different culture.
That's what I keep hearing. But then again, I keep hearing, don't go to Manila.
Yeah.
People
I also hear
from
that.
there. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess I won't go.
Yeah.
Have you had any experience dating here yet?
Dating, I actually have, as a matter of fact. So last year I came with my friends, and funny story, I broke my phone for like the first 2 weeks. I broke it in Ireland while I was on the way here. And I didn't have a phone for 2 weeks. So all my friends were on like dating apps and stuff. I'm pretty sure this is like a really common thing for people. They just go on dating apps when they go to a different country just to see the sus and stuff. So they all were on dating apps and stuff. And some of them had success, some of them didn't. But I had like a really shitty phone given to me as a gift so that, you know, people could contact me and stuff like that. So the second I got on there, everyone was like already on these apps for like 2.5 weeks. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna like start using them and stuff like that. And I only had like a week left, so I didn't have any other like, I'm more of like a cold approach, you know, kind of like say hi to someone at like a bar or like a coffee shop. But I gave a dating app a try, and funnily enough, a girl I met over there, or when I was there, we ended up hanging out for like the next full week afterwards. So until I went home.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Okay, so you went out with her for the remainder of your stay.
Yeah.
And then after that, did you guys just like stop talking?
No, we're still talking. We're actually still talking to this day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Look at you, man.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Like, that's the person that I met up with for her birthday this time. So yeah. So it's actually
cool.
pretty long. So yeah, my dating experience is pretty positive, I would say. Now, if you were to ask me if I've dated like Filipinos, I have, but outside of the Philippines. So it's like a little bit different.
How would you compare dating a Filipino who's living here in the Philippines versus a Filipina that is living outside of the Philippines?
I feel like, I mean, it's two very different cultures. Like, I think it's also dependent on like a lot of factors. Like, if they were recently just moved out of the Philippines, I think they still have a lot of like Filipino, like quote unquote, attributes to them. I do feel like if you were Filipino but you were born elsewhere, you kind of integrate yourself into the culture that you're in. So it doesn't actually feel like you're dating a Filipino. Like, most of the time they just feel Irish. Like, for my experience, they're just mostly Irish, but they just, you know, look Filipino.
Understood.
So,
Understood. Which brings me to my next question, man. So how would you compare like the cultures between the two, Ireland and the Philippines?
Oh, it's a drastic difference. I think the first thing that comes into my head is like the family culture, I think, is a lot more different. I think in the Philippines, people tend to stay together a lot more. Like moving out at a young age seems to be less of a norm over here, while it is somewhat of a norm over there. Now, not like to a super extent where every parent expects their kid to like leave by the age of 18, but like more so like kids themselves tend to look for places or want to move out a lot earlier. So I think that's one big difference. Culturally, I think maybe I have a lot of personal bias towards the Philippines, but everyone's really nice here. Like a lot of the people, obviously there's bad apples everywhere, but people are very smiley and happy and like tend to be very community driven and stuff like that.
So I actually hear a lot that the number one thing that people enjoy about the Philippines is the people here.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, man, so what is the number one thing that you admire about the Philippines, but also the number one thing that you would change about the Philippines?
Okay. Admire. Is this specific to the people or like specific to anything?
It could be anything.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep it towards the people. And I don't know. People just seem to be very, I mean, the way I see it, right, is not to look down on anyone, but like there's a lot more people here that I would consider like less fortunate, and they could go about their day extremely happy and smiling and cracking jokes all the time. I think that something that like I really admire is the fact that people are able to stay like humorous in like, you know, situations that I may or may not be like as comfortable in if I was them. So always being able to smile, always being able to, you know, make someone laugh, I think is a really powerful trait. I think laughter is like, you know, the best thing in the world. Things that I would change. See, I think this is better asked towards someone that lives here, because I don't know too much, especially about politics. I feel like most people, when you ask them what they change about their country, it would mostly be about politics. Because I don't know anything about it and it doesn't affect me, there's not much I would change, to be honest. I feel like whenever I come here, I'm very liberated in what I can do, you know, to an extent. Like, I get to kind of do what I want, buy what I want, and stuff like that without having to think about how any of that would kind of affect me. So, what I would change, you know, if the weather goes down a little bit, I'd be happy. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, that's about it.
Understood. Unfortunately, we can't control that.
Yeah. Unfortunately is right.
Yeah, man. And what advice would you bestow upon anyone who's looking to come here to live or come here to be a tourist? Like, what are some things you would advise them on?
To live would be, I would suggest, I don't know. I think if I were to do it myself, I would probably look to have some sort of backup income just in case my plan A doesn't work here. Because I feel like, because I'm here on vacation, I'm using money that I kind of saved up over somewhere else and using it at my own expense here. And I feel like if I were to continue living the way I do here, I probably wouldn't last longer than 3 or 4 months. So I would suggest I think this is the case for if you're moving anywhere, you definitely need a solid financial plan or, you know, some sort of stability. But if you're a tourist, honestly, I think you'd get a lot more out of this place if you knew someone here, or like if you made a friend and you decided to go traveling to places that you may or may not get to travel to because you don't know about it, or like you don't know the best way to experience it. Like transport like is a big thing. Like if you're coming here by yourself and then you need to try and figure out how to go to somewhere like halfway across the island, like I think one very popular tourist destination like is Malboal here. And I think it would be a lot easier if you knew someone, like, or like, you know, somehow decided to get in touch with someone that can get there safely and all that stuff. So find a Filipino friend or something. Honestly, if not, I mean, it's not super difficult to get around here. I would stay in like more populated places just for safety reasons. I think this is a concern that a few people might have. But though, to be honest, here in Cebu, like it's fine. Like I don't think it's too bad at all.
Understood. And actually, you just made me think of something else.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your safety while being here in Cebu City?
I think it's like in Cebu specifically. I think it's relatively fine. Like I don't think there's any issue. I don't have any issues at all with like. I've never felt like in danger at any point. So I don't know if that's also because like I speak the language quite fluently. So I don't know if they would treat people from like foreigners differently, because I do seem to blend in because I am Filipino. But yeah, I can only speak for myself, and it's fine. And from all the people that I've spoken to as well that aren't like Filipino, I think they have the same sentiments. Now, I think if you go elsewhere, it might be a bit different, but Cebu is perfectly fine, in my opinion.
Okay, perfect. And so you've been to Cebu. You mentioned
Malwal, yeah.
Malwal. Have you been there?
Yeah, I have.
And where else have you been in the Philippines?
So I was a lot younger, and I went to Bohol. I can't really speak for that because I think I was like 5.
Oh, okay.
So I can barely remember any of it. But I remember it being fun because I remember the people I went with. But other than like the specific stuff, because like the tourist attractions and like the food, it's very hard for me to say because I can't remember. But I think that's about it. I'm actually not very well traveled in the Philippines. Like I mainly stick to Cebu because because most of the time that I come here, it's with my parents, so it's like a family thing. And whenever we do anything, it's together. Yeah. So like, I've only mainly been in Cebu, like the whale watching in Uslub down south. I've been there. The canyoneering in Badjan, I've been there. But outside of Cebu, I haven't really been to anywhere other than Bohol, and I think that's it actually, just Bohol.
Okay,
so. And there is an island on Cebu I've been to. It's called Bantayan. It's like way up north.
Okay.
But because it's still in Cebu, I don't really count it as like.
Okay. I was gonna ask you, what is your favorite place that you visited in the Philippines?
Favorite place is probably Bajan or Malboal. I went there with my cousins, and it was just a fun time. Like we were cliff jumping and stuff, and by the beach. It was just a really nice, relaxing kind of day getaway. So. But other than that, I think my hometown. I live in Bourbon, so like really up north. Okay. It's more of like a nostalgic thing and sentimental feeling that I get over there, rather than it being like more attractive to someone that's like a tourist. Mm-hmm. But because I live there, my family is there, I always feel nice and comfortable when I'm there. So
understood.
Yeah.
Well, Romano, that's all I've got for you. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and share some more.
Honestly, it was my pleasure. It was my pleasure.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you.